Hi, I'm Effie and this is What Effie Reads. A little while back I saw Jade over at JD Ray Reads do a video where she used Blue Chick's Wheel of Emotions and took the core emotions from that wheel and basically assigned a book to each of those. And I thought it was a really cool idea, so I thought I would try my hand and see if I can do my own bookish Wheel of Emotions. So the first emotion we've got is joy, and for that it is a book that makes you happy. I think there's a lot of books that have really made me happy, but I'm probably gonna say the Heartstopper series. I know it's more than one book, but I just think they're so sweet. There's such a innocence to the love within them, and the fact that they're queer and also the fact that they deal so openly with mental health makes me so happy that people that are maybe 10 years younger than me, maybe even 20 years younger than me, have these books that they can read. Because the age that I am, Section 28 was repealed when I want to say 12. I could be getting my dates a bit wrong, but basically Section 28 was very much a thing during my lifetime, which means that the amount of queer literature that I had when I was younger just didn't really exist. Like even queer authors like Jacqueline Wilson, it's only in the past few years that we've actually had queer books from her. And yes, I know that there was queer media, but Section 28 made it such that it was really difficult to actually have this queer media. So Heartstopper just makes me so happy on so many levels. The next emotion is trust, and it's an author that you trust that anything they write you'll love. And for this one, I'm probably going to say V.E. Schwab. So far I've read the first book in the Villain series. I've read the 3 books of the Cassidy Blake series that exist. I know that series is kind of on pause for now. I've also read all 3 of A Darker Shade of Magic, and I have also read the first in the Shades of Magic graphic novel series, and I've loved all of them. I would say that I had a hard time with The Steel Prince, which is the first graphic novel of the Shades of Magic, but that's because I often find it quite difficult to take stories in from the pictures. But the core story there is really engaging, and I'm really interested to see more from that story. So I need to pick up the other 2 volumes pretty soon. But yeah, basically anything that Schwab puts out, I'm probably going to love. And I'm so excited to read Extraordinary. I know it's being published as comics, like slowly but surely, but I'm waiting for the bind-up to come in October, and I'm really excited for it. And I'm also kind of excited for the books that she's got coming out. Like, she's got Gallant out next year. We've got Threads of Power coming out at some point, probably in a few years. And I'm just can't wait. The next emotion is fear, and it's a book that you're scared to pick up. I've got a number of books on my shelves that intimidate me, but I actually think probably the most accurate one for these is Amari and the Night Brothers, because this is a book that is so well loved within the bookish community that I'm really scared I'm going to pick it up and not love. And pretty much that's the only reason I'm scared of picking it up, because it has been so hyped, it's so well loved, and I'm like, what if I'm the outlier? What if I don't love it? But I mean, I feel fairly optimistic that I will, because I don't think I've ever, I don't think I've seen anyone who dislikes it, but I don't know. The next emotion is surprise, and it is simply a book that surprised you. I think for this one, I'm going to say A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I have had the audiobook for quite a few years. When I first had Audible and kind of was introduced to it, I did this thing where when my free trial was coming to an end, I would look at my credits and I would try and get the longest, best value for money book that I could. And now I know that I would much rather get a book that I'm going to love than a long book. So basically, I've had A Little Life for years because it is, I think it's something like 32 hours as an audiobook. So that's why I originally picked it up. But then I saw that a lot of people were reading it in June, and I also saw that it was labelled as being queer. So I thought, okay, I'm actually going to pick it up, because audiobooks are a great format for me because I can pop them on whilst I do other things. So it's like I'm reading whilst I'm getting on with my life. And I ended up loving it so much that I actually went into Waterstones and bought a physical copy, so that when I next read it, I can read it in physical form and I can annotate it. And I'm so excited for that to happen. The next emotion is disgust, and it's a book that you really didn't like. I feel like there's a lot of books that would fit this category, but I'm going to go fairly simple and go for The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. This was the first time that I'd read a book from McManus, and it was just a swing and a miss for me. I found it really slowly paced, and it just didn't feel like there was any intrigue to it at all. And then there was a romance that felt a little bit sketchy. The penultimate emotion is anger, and it's a book that you're not a fan of and you don't see how anyone else can be a fan of. And for me, that is 100% The Lost Witch by Melvin Burgess. It actually makes my blood boil, some of the things that happen within this book. And then people will I don't talk about it much, but if I post about it on Instagram, or back when I used to use Goodreads and had to post a review and you can comment under people's reviews, people would comment under it and be like, oh, I love The Lost Witch, and I'm like, why? It's paedophilic. What did we read the same book? Yeah, pure anger, pure blood boiling. And the final question is anticipation, and it's a book you can't wait to read. I have actually got a video full of my anticipated reads, and it's not a set time period, it's just books I can't wait to read. But if I had to pick one from that, that's actually really, really hard. I actually think it's the one that snuck in just under the radar, and it is the Buffy sequel series that's coming out at the start of next year. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but I love Buffy, so I'm kind of hoping that I actually end up liking it. But then I'm seeing a lot of chatter within the bookish community that's already feeling kind of skeptical about it, but I think it has the potential to be really, really good. And that is all 8 of the core emotions. Let me know what your answers to these were, and until next time, bye.